Behind-the-scenes insights. What are the key steps the U.S. Army takes to organize and execute a successful humanitarian mission? How does the U.S. Army coordinate with local governments and NGOs during disaster relief efforts? What technologies or tools does the U.S. Army use to provide aid in disaster-stricken areas, global and domestic missions? What are the differences between the U.S. Army's domestic and international humanitarian missions? How does the U.S. Army adapt its strategies when responding to different types of disasters, such as earthquakes versus hurricanes? What role does cultural awareness play in the U.S. Army's international humanitarian efforts, innovation, and logistics? How does the U.S. Army use drones and other technologies to assess damage and deliver aid during humanitarian missions? What logistical challenges does the U.S. Army face when providing disaster relief, and how are they overcome? How do mobile field hospitals and water purification systems work during U.S. Army humanitarian missions? Soldier spotlights. What motivates U.S. Army soldiers to volunteer for humanitarian missions? What skills do soldiers gain from participating in humanitarian missions that help them in their military careers? How do soldiers prepare mentally and physically for the demands of humanitarian missions? Historical missions. What are some of the most impactful U.S. Army humanitarian missions in history? How has the U.S. Army's approach to humanitarian missions evolved over the years? What lessons has the U.S. Army learned from past humanitarian missions? Interactive and educational content. What are 5 things most people don't know about the U.S. Army's humanitarian missions? How can civilians support or get involved